Hi, and welcome back to another week with me. With Mother's Day quickly approaching, I did a little bit of research on Mother's Day and kind of just the whole history behind Mother's Day. I found it very interesting, so I hope that you guys are able to kind of learn something new about Mother's Day as well. So a couple things that a lot of people already know about Mother's Day is that it's not always on the same day each year. So if you've been paying attention, you know that this year it'll actually be on May 10th. So one of the earliest Mother's Day celebration was actually celebrated by the ancient Greek. So the Greek would actually celebrate Rhea, who was the goddess of fertility, motherhood, and generations. So kind of interesting that it has gone back quite a long time. So what do you guys actually know about the history of Mother's Day? I know a lot of people, they get together, they do dinner, they buy gifts for their mothers. Some people make phone calls. But it's interesting to find out that's not actually what Mother's Day used to all be about. So the history of Mother's Day started with a woman named Anne Jarvis. So during the Civil War and even after the Civil War, if you know anything about the Civil War, they actually tore families apart, depending on which side you lived on. Maybe one part of the family would be on one side of the Civil War, whereas another family member would be on a different part of the war. So her idea was to actually try to help grow friendship and a sense of community between mothers on both sides. So she actually started a committee in 1868, and they actually decided to establish what was called the first Mother's Friendship Day. So it was supposed to be a way for mothers to come together and just celebrate being mothers together, and kind of try to get rid of some of the divide between what was happening in the country. So Anne, she had a daughter, and her name was Anna. Original, right? She had an A on the end of her own name. But Anna, she wanted to continue what her mother had started. So she wanted to create a holiday and make it official. The very first Mother's Day was actually celebrated in 1908. So Anna, she had the idea to actually use carnations for Mother's Day. Carnations are very much a big part of Mother's Day today. They're a very inexpensive way to tell your mom that you are thinking of her. So Anna's original thought about using carnations was kind of a way to symbolize whether your mother was still here with you or if she had passed on. So if your mother was still alive, you would wear a red carnation. If she had actually passed on, people would actually wear a white carnation. So that's kind of an interesting thing I found out about carnations. So later on, Woodrow Wilson signed Mother's Day into law in 1914. So the first one was celebrated in 1908, and by 1904, it was signed into law saying, hey, we're all going to celebrate our mothers. So Anna Jarvis, later on, she actually tried to stop Mother's Day. So after making all of this work to try and honor her own mother, making Mother's Day into a holiday, she decided she didn't like what Mother's Day had become. There had been a lot of people that were trying to make money off of the holiday. People were taking the opportunity to sell more flowers, to sell more candy, more cards, and just a lot of things that didn't really have anything to do with mothers. Just like kind of today, a lot of things are oriented towards mothers. Around Mother's Day, you'll see a lot of those same things when you enter a store, right? So she said that that's not what her Mother's Day was about, and it took away all of the intimate and personal things that she hoped that Mother's Day would be for not only her, but other mothers and children out there. She felt like it no longer was a way to celebrate the connections between mothers. It was more of a way for companies to make money, which really upset Anna. So Anna actually decided that she was going to speak out against this. She started boycotts, walkouts. Even back then, she condemned the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady at the time, because she used Mother's Day as a way to fundraise money. And Anna really didn't like that. She was very passionate about starting Mother's Day in honor of her mother, and she really was upset about what it had become. So in honor of Anna Jarvis, I just want to remind everybody to take a minute and to remember what Mother's Day is really about. The gifts and things are wonderful, but it really is all about mom and the relationship that you share with your mother. So however you want to celebrate that is up to you. Okay, so Mother's Day, excuse me, I just want to share a couple fun facts about Mother's Day. So Mother's Day is actually the biggest day of the year for restaurants. If you are somebody that likes to go out to eat for Mother's Day, you know that a lot of times restaurants, they won't even take reservations because they're just so busy. There's usually about 87 million people that go out to either breakfast, lunch, or dinner for Mother's Day, which is quite a lot of people. So the name mom actually comes from babies. So no matter what part of the world you're in, mothers have the same kind of names or variations of mom, ma. So this is because one of the first sounds that children learn to make as babies is ma. So no matter where you are, whether it's mom, mommy, mama, or, if you're from a different region, it may be something else. So also, more calls are made on Mother's Day than any other day of the year. So on Mother's Day alone, there's about 122 million calls placed. So if on Mother's Day you have some funny kind of reception, well, I'm sure the phone lines are probably extra busy on Mother's Day. So over $23 billion is spent on Mother's Day on average. People spend anywhere from upwards to $180 on gifts for their mothers. So nationwide, that totals about $4.6 billion spent on jewelry, $4.4 billion on dinner and brunch. Although the most popular Mother's Day gift is a greeting card. And I personally feel like some of the greeting cards can be the best gifts, especially when you have a young one that decides they want to make one for you. I think a lot of mothers get keepsakes this way. So with that being said, Mother's Day is actually celebrated all over the world. In some different parts of the world, Mother's Day turns into a huge festival and it's a big deal, especially places like Mexico. So the French actually once gave medals out to mothers. So after losses from World War I, the government celebrated Mother's Day in 1920 by presenting women who had 5 children with a bronze medal. Mothers of 8 got silvers, and mothers of 10 or more children actually were presented with gold medals, which is pretty awesome, right? Kind of a cool way to celebrate Mother's Day. But don't worry, because she's definitely worth the money. I think this is the most interesting thing that I found while doing my research about Mother's Day. So there's actually some people out there that sat down and thought about everything that a mother has to do in a day. So they figured out it would cost $67,619 a year to hire somebody to do all of the things that a mother does, like the household work, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids. And kind of a fun fact, that's as much as an accountant or even a good chiropractor makes. So most definitely, remember that your mother is a wonderful gift and you are as much of a gift to your mother as well. Otherwise, apparently we could be making a lot more money doing it elsewhere. So thank you guys so much for listening with me today. I hope that you're able to find something new that you didn't know before about Mother's Day. And until next time, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again.